All right, big headline on Drudge. Speaking of Taylor Swift, headline is MAGA goes to war on Swift. And that links to this Rolling Stone article, which says singer-songwriter Taylor Swift hasn't even endorsed President Joe Biden for re-election yet. That hasn't stopped members of MAGA land's upper crust from plotting to declare, as one source close to Donald Trump calls it, a holy war on the pop megastar, especially if she ends up publicly backing the Democrats in the 2024 election. According to three people familiar with the matter, Trump loyalists working on or close to the former president's campaign, longtime Trump allies and right-wing media, and an array of outside advisors to the ex-president have long taken it as a given that Swift will eventually endorse Biden, as she did in 2020. Indeed, several of these Republicans and conservative media figures have discussed the matter with Trump over the past few months. But she hasn't endorsed anyone yet, but now they're attacking her. Okay, now this is Rolling Stone, which is a propaganda rag that nobody should take seriously, and they're quoting unnamed sources around Donald Trump, which historically means that it's nonsense. You shouldn't trust it. But in this case, we see that this war on Taylor Swift is already playing out. You know, we know that this is happening. It's happening in public. In the past few weeks, conservative commentators have started attacking Taylor Swift pretty consistently, and they're saying that her popularity is a psyop. I mean, this is something you see all over Twitter now. I've even heard that she's a CIA asset. You know, I think they were talking about that on Fox News a couple nights ago. So it has been an all-out assault, metaphorically, on Taylor Swift from some corners of the right, at least. Certainly not everyone, or even close to a majority. But let me just say a few things about this, and then I'll move on. First of all, if everything is a psyop, then nothing is a psyop. Okay, we've gotten to a point as conservatives where it's just like reflexively everything that happens is automatically a psyop. And the problem is that there are psyops that happen, but now when just that is your reflexive reaction to everything, it doesn't mean anything anymore. And there's no need to postulate a psyop for things that can be easily explained without them. It's kind of been a theme on this show this week. There are plenty of conspiracy theories that have validity. There are plenty that have been proven true. But if you have something that can be easily explained without a conspiracy theory, then you don't need the conspiracy theory. So Taylor Swift's popularity is one of those things, okay? It's not engineered by the CIA or whatever. Millions of girls and women love her music because it resonates with them. They like it. I mean, that's it, okay? She's an attractive woman who writes songs that other women really like, and that's the whole story. That's why she's popular, right? Now, I don't get the music. I don't get it personally. It's not my type of music. It doesn't resonate with me. I think her music is dumb. I also think that it's gotten worse. Now, I'm not, it's maybe a somewhat unfair assessment on my end because I don't really listen, but from a 30,000-foot bird's eye perspective, well, birds wouldn't be 30,000 feet in the air. Anyway, for 10,000 feet, it seems to me like the music's got, like she used to do the pop country, acoustic ballad type music, and now it's more of the hooky pop dance stuff that she's doing. So, but anyway, the music isn't for me, and I don't like it, and that's fine. The point is that you don't need to look at Taylor Swift and think to yourself, what's going on here? Who is this person? Why is she all over the TV? There must be some sort of conspiracy afoot. How do we explain this? What's happening? No, she's just if you want to know, like before thinking about the CIA and is she an asset? Just go ask literally any woman under the age of 35 or 40. Like, what do people like about Taylor Swift? She'll tell you. Even if she's not a Taylor Swift fan, she'll be able to explain it. She's not going to be confused. She's popular because she's popular. People like her. You know, she is our Michael Jackson. And I don't like Michael Jackson either, but this is in the modern age. This is what happens. We have pop stars, and they become very famous. And as long as pop music and the modern entertainment industry has existed, there have always been people like that. Now, is Taylor Swift a big-time lib? Will she vote for Biden? Will she tell other people to vote for Biden? Does she hate Trump? Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. Of course. So in that way, she's exactly the same as almost anyone else who's even vaguely relevant in the entertainment industry, which is a problem. That's a long-standing problem we have as conservatives, that every single person in the entertainment industry who's even a little bit relevant is a leftist. Now, we all know that. But that's why I don't get these right-wingers on Twitter who are digging up. I mentioned this today, and someone sent me, "Oh yeah, how do you explain this?" And it was a tweet of Taylor Swift's from 2020 when she was criticizing Trump, and they're reposting the tweet like, "See, you see, she's a leftist." Yeah, we know. Like, obviously she is. No one is denying that. Of course she is. You don't need. Well, you see, in 2020, you're saying she's not a CIA asset, but then in 2020, she criticized Trump. Can you explain that? What? There's like millions of people in this country who don't like Trump and criticize. Are they all CIA assets? Is that the only way to explain why a 30-year-old pop star doesn't like Trump? The only way to explain it is that the CIA has gotten to her? I mean, come on. This year, make life insurance part of your financial plan. Start shopping now with Policy Genius and find the right policy to protect your family. Policy Genius makes it easy to compare life insurance quotes from top companies and find your lowest price. Don't get ripped off by life insurance. Policy Genius helps you compare your options from top companies. Their team of licensed experts is on hand to help talk you through it. There are no added fees, and your personal information is kept private. I have a life insurance plan. You should too. It was super satisfying to check life insurance off of my to-do list. So go get it done, and get it done with Policy Genius. These guys are great at what they do. They make the process seamless and stress-free. A good life insurance plan can give you peace of mind that if something happens to you, your family will be able to cover mortgage payments, college costs, or other expenses. Life insurance through your workplace may not offer enough protection for your family's needs, and it won't follow you if you leave your job. Since life insurance typically gets more expensive as we age, now is the time to buy. Policy Genius makes the process so much easier. With Policy Genius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $292 per year for $1 million of coverage. Some options offer same-day approval and avoid unnecessary medical exam. Save time and money and give your family a financial safety net with Policy Genius. Head to policygenius.com/Walsh or click the link in the description to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. That's policygenius.com/Walsh. What's the plan here? If you're worried about the sway that Taylor Swift will have over the election, and when we talked about this a few days ago, now they're saying 18% or whatever it was in the poll are saying they'll be more likely to vote if Taylor Swift, they will be more likely to vote for whoever Taylor Swift endorses. I don't think it's really 18%. I hope it's not 18%. That just seems way too high. But she does have a sway over the election. It's not a good thing. I don't like having a political system where pop stars can have a vastly disproportionate impact on the outcome. I don't like that, but that's what we have. And my question is, how is obsessively attacking her a smart or effective counter strategy? How is that going to work exactly? So you get a bunch of Fox News boomers all upset about Taylor Swift, and then what? And then what? What's step two? Attacking Taylor Swift is only appealing to people who are already hardcore Trump supporters. So no one else, okay? No Taylor Swift fan is going to see a right-wing influencer on Twitter criticizing her and go, you know what? That influencer's right. Taylor Swift is terrible. Okay, and that goes for me. I mean, I'm not going to call myself an influencer. I don't like the term. But if I went all, guns a-blazing at Taylor Swift, it doesn't matter. There would not be a single Taylor Swift fan who would hear me say, Taylor Swift, you shouldn't listen to her. None of them are going to hear me say, well, I think Matt Walsh, I'll go with him on this one. It's not going to happen. It just is not going to happen. So what's the plan? What's the strategy here? What's the win? Also, and this to me is the main thing, and this is why I find the whole thing annoying, is if I were to compile a list of all of the most objectionable, morally debased, degenerate pop stars who are the most toxic and the most harmful to young minds and are contributing the most to our cultural rot, Taylor Swift would not make the top 50. And if she would make your top 50 list, I envy your ignorance. Okay? If you were to make a list, if you personally were to make a list of the most degenerate, most harmful pop stars, and Taylor Swift is in your top 5, well, then you are blissfully ignorant of just how bad things are out there. I wish to God that we lived in a culture where Taylor Swift was one of the worst, most objectionable pop stars. I wish that was the case. Like, I wish we had the luxury to be complaining about her. I wish. But it's not the case. Okay, she's not even close. I mean, she's not close to the top 50. Her music is downright wholesome compared to all of the other pop music that exists, almost all of it. Like, she writes songs pretty much, what does she write about? She writes about falling in love and breaking up. She writes songs about breaking up with her boyfriend, okay? And these are classic music themes, okay? Now, sure, it's kind of vapid for a 32-year-old to still be singing about breaking up with her boyfriend like she's in high school, but so what? I mean, do you realize what kind of explicit, overt messaging is in many other mega hit songs? Like, do you realize what some of the top charting songs for years now? What is in those songs? What those songs are saying? What kids are listening to and repeating and singing along to? You've got someone like Sexy Red or whatever, outwardly telling women to be whores and glorifying drug use and crime and gang violence and so on and so on. And Taylor Swift is who we're worried about. It's like if you decided that the worst thing that kids watch on their screens are 1990s Disney movies instead of, hardcore pornography. Okay? It's like if you were going through your kid's book bag, and you found a pack of bubble gum, and you also found a crack pipe. And then you were like, hey, what is this? I told you we don't chew gum in this house. Too much sugar. It's like, if everything else is going well with your kid, then you could complain about the bubble gum. But if you got the crack, then that probably should be the headline here. I don't know if you have room or the luxury as a parent to be worried about the bubble gum. And the thing is, speaking of pornography, that's what a lot of modern pop music is. It's pornographic. It's full-on pornographic. It's basically 50 Shades of Grey, but set to music and aimed at middle schoolers and with an added dose of thuggery and crime glorification. And Taylor Swift is the villain on Fox News, though. Right? She uses very little profanity. She doesn't make, for the most part, explicit songs. Keeps her clothes on for the most part. By pop music standards, keeps her clothes on. One of the top charting songs of the last 2 years, you may remember, featured a woman with face tattoos describing in detail her bodily orifices. In fact, that is a common theme now in pop music. There have been multiple hit songs that have had that same theme. Okay? And so these are the kinds of degenerate creeps we have making music that like 12-year-olds are listening to. And yet Taylor Swift singing about breaking up with her boyfriend is the thing that we are concerned about. What are we doing? What are we doing, guys? Thanks for checking out this video. If you'd like to listen to my full podcast on the go, you can check out The Matt Walsh Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.